How many people here know someone who's illiterate? It's almost unimaginable. 72 million children in this world are not in school. That's over 785 million children that are illiterate. Living in America and coming from a family of Afghan refugees who are all able to get an education, it makes me very thankful to understand that the circumstances that I live in allow me to have an education. It's a horrible thing when social class, income, and gender can be used to strip away the basic rights of a child. One of the main reasons that children aren't able to get a sufficient education is because of poverty. In places like northeastern Africa, only 10% of kids can go to primary school, and 17 million never attend school at all. The schools and materials they use will be of little help because of the loss of money to buy new materials. In 7th grade, I had a teacher who told me of a trip she took with her son to Africa. They only brought a couple supplies, and they aimed to help. They brought notebooks and pens and pencils, and the children were so thankful, not even having the simplest of school supplies. It really shows how unappreciative we are today in America, and how much we take our privileges for granted. The books and teachers that they have aren't good enough. The books are outdated, and the amount of teachers are minuscule. There's countless websites online asking for teachers. They don't even need to be qualified very much. They just need them there to help the students. The 37 million African minors that go to school will not be much better off than the kids who don't go to school at all. Another main reason why children aren't getting an education that they deserve is because of the loss of effort. In the Middle East, education isn't a priority, and it's not being improved at all. The Taliban and other extremists have completely taken over so much that going to school was against the law a couple of years ago. That's changed now, but not by much. Only 20% of Afghanistan's population is illiterate. That's including men, women, and children. In December of 2014, the Taliban attacked a school, killing kids of all ages, from 5-year-olds to 15-year-olds. They believe that education is a sin for some reason, and children aren't getting the education that they deserve. My grandfather went to school in the 60s in Afghanistan, and he was able to get a full education, and later came to America to go to Georgetown University, where he got his master's. My great-grandfather was a well-known doctor, and although he got his doctorates in Germany, he went back to Afghanistan and became a well-known doctor in the city of Kabul. He also learned many languages in high school, and those options aren't available anymore. Students are going to school in private and learning in secret, afraid that they might get killed. They're not getting the sufficient education that they deserve, and the extremists and Taliban's judgment is too clouded by ignorance to understand that it's actually so important. Sexism in the Middle East plays a big part in students not getting the education they deserve. The Taliban and other extremists have banned all women in Afghanistan from going to school, and women who defy them and don't obey their laws are targeted. One of those women who did defy was Malala Yousafzai. She was followed onto a bus after school and shot in the face, all for wanting to get an education. She said, "I don't mind if I have to sit on the floor at school. All I want is education, and I'm afraid of no one." She survived the wounds and only went through surgeries and a minor coma. She opened a school for girls in Lebanon and continues to be an advocate for girls and women's rights and education. My great-grandmother went to school in the early 1900s in Afghanistan, and she became a teacher at an all-girls school. At that time, education there was just as good as education here. And my grandmother finished high school. She's only 52. She went to college, and she had to drop out and leave the country when the war started, and that's where it all began. In this day and age and in this country, we're so privileged, and we don't know it. Minors in third world countries are not getting the education they deserve, and it's being overlooked. It may not affect us, but it's our responsibility as citizens to ensure basic human rights are given to everyone. It should be our goal that when our children are in high school, no child throughout the world will be denied their simple right to education. Thank you.